Hello and welcome to GameCube Classics. In this installment, the game is Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, released by Nintendo in 2003. This game was a big deal when it came out because it was not only the first GameCube game that was a Zelda title, but it was also a game that, had a lot of divisiveness around it even before the game was released. You see, back before the game was released, there was a tech demo shown at Space World 2000 of what a potential GameCube Zelda game would look like. The tech demo showed Adult Link from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time fighting Ganondorf in like a short little segment. And that fueled a lot of speculation that the next Zelda would basically be Ocarina of Time with better visuals. And a lot of people were looking forward to this more adult-oriented sort of Nintendo title. Fast forward a few years, and then this is what we end up getting. A game that is famously dubbed as Celda because of its cel-shading style. Now, when you get into the actual game here, you realize that this is actually a sequel to Ocarina of Time that takes place in sort of like an alternate history. It's, if you believe in the split timeline theory, then this takes place as if Link is defeated and Ganon rules Hyrule and everything is bad. But either way, it's pretty clear that this game is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time in storyline. Although Zelda games, don't really have much need for a story really going from one game to another anyway. They're kind of like the Final Fantasy games that way, where the games are connected, but, who cares if they are or not. So here you go. Here's your reference to the classic Ocarina of Time. Or also, alternatively, Link to the Past, I guess. It could be that one too. But this one has a horse, so it must be Epona, I guess. No, I'm not a big enough Zelda nerd to know for sure, but apparently the text that's actually in the image itself is ancient Hyrulean or Hylian or whatever it is, and it actually corresponds with what the English translation is down below. So it's, if you can like read that, if you're that much of a nerd, I guess that's pretty cool that they did that. The Zelda games, to me, are something that is really interesting for, video game to do, to create its own lore and its own legend, basically. Because this is not a story that I think is really meant to be taken literally. It is a legend, something that changes from telling to telling, something that's passed down from generation to generation, and, basically only the gist of it is really the same. You have a hero who is garbed in green, who wields a sword, fights evil, and saves a princess named Zelda and gets a triangle. Something like that. Everything else sort of doesn't matter and is, open to interpretation between Zelda game to Zelda game. That's why, to me, it doesn't matter that this is a sequel or has anything to do with Ocarina of Time. It doesn't matter that Ocarina of Time has anything to do with any other Zelda game, or really any other Zelda game has anything to do with any of the others. A game like Mega Man or series like that, those series actually do matter because those games are, tightly wound up in the same historical timeline where they go from event to event. Game to game would take place, this one takes place before this one, and this one takes place after it. But the Zelda games are all so separate that, it doesn't matter to me, and I don't think it should matter to most people. So, with all that said, we can finally get into the actual game, and, back in the day, this game was absolutely beautiful. It actually still is in a lot of ways. unlike the landlocked versions of the original games, the older Zelda games, I should say, this one changed things up by having a more of an island theme. I don't know what this kid's doing, sleeping up on, like, I don't know, what is this, like a lookout tower? Who sleeps up on a place like that? Like, what the hell? So, the real improvement over Ocarina of Time for me is not only just the visual update, because, you know, that I was fine with the N64 visuals, but really the difference here is being able to control the camera in whatever angle you want. The camera control is such an improvement, and it makes this game so much fun to play. If the camera was bad, I don't think I would have ever had the fortitude to actually finish the game. This is not the type of thing that... this is not the type of game I would have, you know, really played if the camera was terrible. But luckily the camera is absolutely fantastic. You couldn't ask for a better camera in a 3D game. You can make it like a side-scroller, or you can turn the camera completely around and make you, you know, run towards the camera. You know, Mario 64 showed the way, but this game really took it to the next level. So I have turned the dubious age of the hero. Yes, that is the age I am. So that means that I get to be garbed in green now. Hooray. I thought that it was somewhat weird that you changed like into these hero clothes like right in front of your grandmother. Like, doesn't he get any privacy at all? Like, what the hell? Here's clothes. Get naked. Put them on. You know, that kind of thing. Like, what's going on here? And why do they have a shield up on like the wall, surrounded by a reef? That's like the weirdest thing. Also, maybe that it's just, you know, Japan being Japan, but where the Japanese wouldn't question it, because, you know, a lot of Japanese people are raised by, you know, their elders, or, you know, because their parents are away busy working, or they might be even overseas or something. But what the hell? Why does Link only live with his grandmother? Where are his parents in this game? It's never explained. It's never even brought up. Maybe they're dead, but if so, then why is that not a plot point at all? Why is it not even mentioned, or not even thought of? Throw the rock at the kid. There were a lot of people that didn't even give this game a try because they were immediately just put off by the change in visuals that the game ended up being so different from what the Space World 2000 demo was going to look like, you know, and I think that it's a shame because all those people missed out on this absolutely amazing game. I am not a major Zelda fan. Like, I've played a good majority of them, and there's the games, you know, in the series that I haven't played yet, and, you know, for the most part, I think this is one of the strongest titles in the entire Zelda trilogy, or lineage, I guess. Lineage is the word I'm looking for. So what makes this so much better than some of the other games, you might be asking? Well, I think that this one has more of a focus on, you know, where to go next, what to do. The areas seem more natural and more alive, and what's going on in the game's world, you know, seems to be more vibrant, I guess is the word. It mystifies me why the telescope camera is controlled not with the right stick like it is with the standard camera, but with the left stick. That's just odd to me. So why are they pirates lobbing cannonballs at a bird? Why don't they, like, fire arrows? Game logic. Happened so far away that you needed a telescope, but a rail could see it with her bare naked eyes. You know, this game is over 10 years old now, but even so, it still has such modern conventions as the mandatory tutorial that you have to do before you can even get your sword. As if using your sword was something that needed a tutorial for. Having previously played Link's Awakening, I thought that you'd have to get your shield before you would get your sword, but no, in this game you get your sword and then you get your shield. I don't actually want to talk to this guy, just skip it. Now, before I'm asked, I have not yet played the Wii U version of this game. I've only ever played the original. And I guess the Wii U version would look better, but to me, it doesn't matter because the game still looks beautiful in its original form. It's also kind of funny to me that this guy gives you the sword, even though he has nothing but spears. Like he's a spear master who gives you a sword. If he's like so good at swords, then why doesn't he have a bunch of swords? Why does he all have a bunch of spears? And he himself is armed with a spear. Game logic. So now that I have my sword, I can get to the summit and go into the forest, which is hidden in a cave. Because, again, game logic. Ooh, pretty scenery. So you make it into a forest that's somehow bigger than the space for it, but whatever. Again, game logic. You know, it could have dropped you out at sea, which would have been far more fun. How did Auril even get up here? Weren't those trees blocking her way? Does she secretly have a sword of her own?
Hey!
It's the Great Sea pedophile. Yeah, that must be it. Either that or Ganon. One or the other. Or maybe one and the same. Not just any not just any rumors, evil rumors. So now let's say bye to Grandma and steal our shield. And thus Link sets off on his grand adventure at the Great Sea. Well, anyway, guys, that'll about do it for today's video, so thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about this game, feel free to leave those in the comment section down below. And also, if you guys have any, personal memories or thoughts on the Wind Waker, I'd like to hear about those as well, because I think that this is, again, one of the best Zelda games the series has produced so far. It does have some annoying parts, but I never really minded the traveling at the sea part, like going from island to island. That was always enjoyable to me, because it was something that was very different from previous Zelda games. Alright, guys.